Good morning to one and all present here. A very, very warm welcome to Dr. Bernard Malik Sir for joining us this morning. A very warm welcome to Dr. Harish Chandra Mishra ji, our chairman and founder trustee. Our respected trustees, Shri Ashish Mishra ji, Shri Aditya Mishra ji. Our director, Dr. Suresh Iyer Sir, all wonderful faculty members, and dear students. It is a pleasure to have you all with us this morning. It is a bright morning. It's not raining today. And therefore, I think we are all going to enjoy this conversation that we are going to initiate with Dr. Bernard Malik Sir very soon. But before we do that, I would want us to walk ourselves through the memory lane. Around 2 years ago, I had visited the Leaders Institute in Australia, the Brisbane campus, and let us capture those moments and I'll talk a little about it. So can I request for the AV to be played, please? And I would like to thank everybody, all the dignitaries here to begin with. I think a very impressive personality. Professor Grant, I think very different, as he said, but very unique in his own style. Alive. So thanks a lot to Dr. Bernard Malik Sir and his team for allowing us to sign the MOU 2 years ago, and also for all the wonderful speakers that you have given to us over this period of 2 years in terms of international research conference and many more events that we keep celebrating. I would like to take this opportunity now to introduce our esteemed speaker for this morning. Dr. Bernard Malik Sir is a passionate and visionary leader who strives to make a positive difference to the world. As the Prime Minister's Special Envoy for Trade, Investment and Education at PNG Government, Australia, he leverages his extensive network and expertise to foster bilateral and multilateral relations and promotes economic and social development within Australia. Sir is the founder of Leaders Institute, a platform that offers leadership development, coaching, and mentoring services to individuals and organizations. Additionally, he serves as the president of Research and Policy House, a not-for-profit think tank that aims to impart policy and decision-making through rigorous and relevant research. Sir has strong skills in marketing communications, fundraising, and public speaking, and he's fluent in English, Punjabi, and Hindi. Sir was just mentioning a few minutes ago that he left India around 31 years ago, but I don't see the impact on the way in which he communicates because he is a brilliant orator in all these different languages. He is driven by his mission to empower, inspire, and educate others, and he brings diverse perspectives and experiences to his roles. I've had the honor of meeting him in person. I've had the privilege of connecting with him on social media platforms. Sir, a very, very warm welcome to you from Aditya Institute of Management Studies and Research and Aditya School of Business Management.
Thank you, madam. Very nice to see you again. I think it was kind of chance meeting you. And I guess that's how you form friendships and networkings. These businesses or things like this only enrich us to make our society better. And in preparation for this meeting today. We read a lot about your institution, and thank you. Well done. I think it is a wonderful leadership that you provide along with your team that makes it an outstanding institution.
Thank you, sir. Sir, to begin the conversation, and we're all eagerly awaiting your valuable insights and also your suggestions for the new generation by giving reference to management education in Australia. For the students who are seated in the audience, I can assure you we have a large group of students as well as faculty members who would be keen on understanding the way things happen in Australia. So, my first question for you, sir, would be that can you tell us about some of the current trends and challenges that are experienced by management institutes like yours in the area of management education?
Thank you. I think our discussion will focus today on the trends that are impacting B schools here and business education. Australian business schools are mandated with providing career-ready professionals to the industry, enhancing individual employability, and improving Australia's productivity and global economic competitiveness. As you would agree, things are changing so fast everywhere else. Now there is a digital transformation here. Australian management programs are increasingly incorporating digital skills and data analytics to meet the demands of tech-driven business environment. And then there is also sustainability and ethics. You would see there is a growing focus on sustainability and ethical business practices, reflecting global concerns about corporate responsibilities. Consumers have become suspicious and intolerant of the corporate culture of greed and insensitivity to our environment. And there is a trend on globalization. Programs are emphasizing global business strategies and cross-cultural competencies to prepare students for international markets. Australia is fast becoming a multicultural society, and positive impact globalization is being felt in our society now. You know, at one point, people used to read the qualifying degree. It used to be bachelor or master's. Now people ask from where it is. You know, if you say you did MBA, then people ask, okay, but where did you do your MBA? Because people have increasing access to foreign education or elite institutions, and that is also impacting here. You would see a lot of Australian schools are being ranked based on what they deliver. There is another trend of flexible learning now. With the COVID, it has probably come to its climax. With the rise of remote work and digital technologies, flexible learning options such as online and hybrid courses are becoming more prevalent. Interestingly, we got approved for MBA here a couple of months ago, and we are launching now a global marketing for online everywhere around the world. And for that, we also had to bring a new trading name. Now, first it is Leaders Institute. No one knows what Leaders Institute is when you go out of Australia. So we took a trading name called Australian Business Institute. So these are all trends here, how to get out and get things done. And then, of course, soft skills development, emphasis on leadership, communication, and teamwork skills. Skills such as communication, problem solving, critical thinking, negotiation, and teamwork are very, very critical. New trend is on AI, artificial intelligence. It's becoming a challenge. Generative AI platforms are revolutionizing the way we do business now. Automate various functions, reduce errors, and create more competitive advantage now. So these are some of the trends I think that are happening in business schools in Australia. That also brings us to certain challenges now. Because these trends are changing so fast, uh, to stay afloat, to stay ahead of your game, there are challenges you need to meet. One big challenge is how to keep our curriculum relevant. Uh, because if every day there is a new discovery, and I still remember when we were in India years ago, people used to have 1, 2, 3, 4 children, and 10th grade books used to be passed to the last child too. They were asked to keep the books well, and they would be changed over to first, second, and third. It doesn't happen here. Yes, it is not at the school, but at degree level here it is different. So rapid changes in technology and business practices make it challenging to keep course content up to date. Um, and then balancing theory and practice, ensuring that theoretical knowledge is complemented by practical hands-on experience also can be very challenging. Big challenge comes with money, funding, and resources. Managing budget constraints while maintaining high quality programs and facilities. Private institutions like Leaders Institute have greater funding challenges because we are not publicly funded. Here they have 43 universities and probably 148 private higher education institutions. And probably I would say 80% of them are privately funded. So that's a big challenge when a university that is in our neighborhood called Queensland University receives $1 billion from government in terms of funding, and we receive nothing. So we have to go get out and find our own money. Also, another challenge is students' expectations. Meeting the diverse needs and expectations of the students, particularly regarding career preparation and job placements. Students don't come now to study because they think it will improve their personality. That's not the only reason. They also look at the course outcome, the job outcome. At Leaders, we network with various captains of the industry, political leadership, employers, career advisors, and campus placements. Then industry collaboration also is a challenge. Developing and maintaining strong industry partnerships are also a big challenge for a lot of institutions. You have to consider, and I say this in a jovial manner a lot of times, our population is only 25 million. At any given day in the morning, there are more people standing waiting for a bus in India than our entire population.
You're
So,
right.
so we have so many challenges that we face. But in spite of all that, there are a number of universities here that get ranked among the first 100 universities in the world. So Australia has very good reputation for education. And of course, in that comes also management education.
Yeah, I mean, that was so well covered that, I mean, you have left us no scope to imagine the kinds of challenges and the trends which exist in the Australian education system. While you were describing, some of these challenges like funding, and you were also talking about the hybrid mode of education,
Mhm.
one question which crossed my mind was that, when we have this hybrid mode of education, don't you think that we kind of save our expenses in terms of, not having the faculty to come physically and the students not having to travel all the way to receive education, and we kind of, balance off some of the expenses? Is this a new trend that we see there?
Yes, it not only saves us the money aspect, not only the expenses, but also saves us a lot of hassle too. And
Yeah.
then I think the current trend of hybrid mode of learning is becoming very popular everywhere in the world because a lot of people that are in job get promoted because they're able to get an MBA or they're able to get another relevant degree with regard to their profession. And for that, one, they don't have to leave the work. They can do it based on their convenience and they don't have to break the bank. Interestingly, while University of Melbourne would charge $120,000 for their MBA program. There are universities in Australia that will charge $1,000 per unit, and they do executive MBA. So they will charge, they do 12 units and they will charge $12,000. So a lot of business schools are charging less, giving a lot of value to it. A lot of these programs, even though they charge less money, are very high quality programs. There's no compromise. Yes, to your point, that can only be done because the expenses are less.
Right, right. And so, to what extent do you try and align your programs at your institute in order to meet this new trend of, working from home, which exists in most of the local and the global industries?
Yes, when you talk about industry alignment, there are a lot of boards we have as private education provider. We follow technically the same system that University of Queensland would follow, that is ranked 35th university in the world, or University of Melbourne would follow, that's probably ranked 7th or 8th in the world. We have to follow the same system. It's the same regulator that regulates us and them both. Yes. So we have to have a lot of industry advisory boards. To go through an approval process, it takes probably, let's say, I'll give an example of MBA program. MBA program took us 2 years to get approved and $250,000. And that because we were a small provider, we try to cut corners in terms of, if Dr. Srivastava is charging $20,000 from the university, would negotiate and say, look, we're poor. Can you do it for 5,000? And that way we save a lot of money. So we have a lot of industry advisory boards. Many programs are kind of aligned with these boards. We get industry feedback from them. And in terms of curricular development also, these programs include local studies and examples that are directly relevant to Australian business context. So what happens is when you design a program, whether it's hybrid or the other one, over here, just because you get approved doesn't mean you can deliver online and be hybrid. So there is another set of approval that you have to get. I'm sure in India also it is same. No, you have
it
to
is
get
the same. Yeah.
Yes. So I would talk about the first one, first alignment of management programs with the global industries and stuff. So when we do with the with curriculum development, I'll give an example. Our students go and do a capstone program for our bachelor's program in business or MBA program. So our students, when they went there for MBA program, they work with farms. We run an MBA program in agribusiness. So they worked with farm how to increase his production line, and they were very successful. Then we have a number of patents that we did for one would be butterfly shaped drone. Then we did IoT inspired drip irrigation system that saves water wastage, reduces consumption of water for that. It also diagnoses the plants if there are issues. So these things are picked up from local industry, but used globally. So when the patent is approved, it can be useful globally. And then we also have internships and placements with the local farmers or local businesses. And in that, we offer practical experience to our students. And that experience is actually utilized locally. And the way we interestingly say about our business, our course is learn locally and lead globally. So there is local and global alignment in our courses, and local and global alignment in terms of delivery, local and global alignment in terms of job perspectives.
Oh, that's really brilliant. If you are evolving the next generation of managers or leaders with this wonderful blend of thinking locally and applying globally, I think it's a phenomenal concept to work on. At this juncture, I would want to encourage maybe one or two students to ask a question. So, can any faculty member please expedite this process of the questions to be asked?
Your students are too good.
Yeah. I mean, can we have somebody coming and asking a question, please? Yeah, please come.
My name is Mihir. I am from PGDM first batch, first year. My question is, I would like to know about the scope of management in finance in Australia and which you can see and if you have studied in India. So can you give a comparison or understanding of it?
I got the first question. What was the second part? First is impact. Yes.
I just wanted to know.
Repeat your question, Mihir.
Acha, okay, sorry, sir. I would like to know about the scope of graduation in management in Australia. And the second question is that if you have studied about Indian system of it, so what is the main comparison which you can give?
Oh, okay. Thank you. Scope for management is tremendous. Interestingly, I'll give you an example. We were doing a study when we had to get this course approved. And in that case study, I remember when we were growing up years ago, everybody wanted to become a doctor or engineer. And that's how you became rich. Now, trend is changed now. Even engineers want to do management studies. So they're looking for project managers. Doctors want to do management studies because they want to become hospital administrators or they want to manage their practice well. So in terms of scope, tremendous scope. Sky is the limit. Absolutely lot of scope here. Comparison to India and Australia management courses, I guess that was the question.
Yeah.
Yes. Over here, in India, you will find all, just like we say, all five fingers are not equal. All the management schools are perhaps not equal. I come from Punjab. There was mushroom growth of management colleges. But over here, it is not easy to get approved as a management college. It takes so much. And because it takes so much, the accountability is very high from management. And so the standards are held to the highest level. While some of the colleges are ranked very high, you have the same thing here. But even the lowest ranked college can be perhaps considered very credible institution here. So in terms of comparison, when I started, I said, the mandate here is providing career-ready professionals to the industry, and that's what happens here in Australia.
Right. So, Mihir, I hope you have got the answer to your question.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much, Dr. Malik. I think picking up from this question, what comes to my mind is, see, quality. When we try and compare Australia, say, against US, for instance, then again, there would be, different benchmarks and different standards. And once again, Australia vis-a-vis India, quality would also be a little different. But then, whatever the case may be, when we are building an institution, the most important focus becomes quality and relevance, because you have also said that right at the start, that you have to be relevant to the industry needs and requirements. So, how is it that you develop an ecosystem within your institute which is able to sustain both quality and relevance?
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Let's go with the quality first. When you go through the approval process, as I mentioned before, there is only one regulator. It's called TEXA, Tertiary Education Quality and Standards Agency, which came into being in 2012. Before 2012, states were in charge of higher education. And then they thought, okay, no, bring everybody together under one standard. And so that got formed. Any institution that wants to deliver any degree in higher education has to go through. It's the same standard whether you're a public university or a private university. There are only two private universities here, Bond and Torrent. You don't have many private universities in Australia. But all the higher educations are autonomous. Like when we give our degree, of course, me as president and our chair of the governing board would sign it. Same thing happens with all the universities too. Absolutely same standards. And this quality can be taken for granted that if you're existing, you have to be a quality provider. You couldn't do otherwise. It's very tough. And to maintain quality, there are a number of ways they do it in terms of audits. TEXA would come and audit you when you go through the process of accrediting a course. So a university would have blanket accreditation. They can put any course just by having a meeting, but a private provider, which are majority student providers, have to go through the accreditation process for each course. And as I said, just to add MBA took us 2 years to add an MBA program. Very, very stringent with quality. And then also regular curriculum reviews. We had that discussion before that in India, you could have 5, 6 years, 8 years, same course going through, and for a number of years. Over here, no. Frequent curriculum reviews are conducted. Minor reviews on every programs are conducted every year. And then every 5 years, there is a full major review. And major review can be complete course review, types of unit, arrangements of units, course learning outcome, unit learning outcomes. So there's so many ways where they maintain the quality. Anytime you go with an MBA program or any management program, you can be very sure that it's gone through such a stringent vetting process that the degree you have, we call it, though Leaders is a small institution, we always call it a world-class degree because we meet very high standards in terms of quality. Second was, I think, how to keep it relevant. Was the question?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. So what happens here is we not only get approved first to keep it relevant, we get, there are different feedback mechanisms. You get feedback from the students. Over here, we don't have many Australian students because Australian students get funding. And so they go and study with the with the public colleges. We have all international students and they are, gosh, they're very close-knit communities. So you can have a student coming from Leaders and he's staying with the guy who is from UQ, University of Queensland, and they talk. Oh, you're doing this course, I'm doing this. Oh, this, that. So they come back to the professor and say, oh, at UQ, this is what they do to the student, or this is what happened. This is where it is taught. But they forget that UQ, they pay $120,000 for 2-year course, whereas we charge only $45,000. But look, to stay relevant in the industry, you have to do all that. So in terms of that, we get student feedback. We also have industry engagement. We engage with the industry. We have course advisory committees that keep us relevant. Course advisory committees have members drawn from lot of different industries. They could be drawn from higher education to give that it meets the the course outcome. They could be drawn from, if it is a management, they could be drawn a CEO of a big company, a manager, an accountant, a lawyer. So these course advisory committees keep it very, very relevant to what we want. And of course, we also invest on faculty development. Investing in continuous professional development for the faculty, that ensures us that we are up to the industry trends and teaching methodologies. They do a lot of research publications. We have a lot of patents. We also have workshops for the staffs. We go through corporate governance. So there are so many mechanisms that we follow in terms of relevance of the course, in terms of quality. So anytime a student gets a certificate or a degree from us, he's not only that he's employable anywhere, he could compete with any universities in terms of quality and relevance of the course.
Oh, that's really brilliant. What was impressive about what you spoke was, the patents that you have been able to get and serve the farmers directly through your MBA in agri-business program. So we would like to hear a little more about, this innovation culture that you're able to create by possibly fostering some industry support or some association with the businesses. So how does that happen actually?
Um, Look, because we do not have big branding, the only way we distinguish ourselves is giving students something that other universities cannot give. So we have to go above and board from UQ. While UQ is big brand, we are small provider. In fact, we do better delivery than them or many of the other universities. And so what we do, we stay up on the top of our innovation. We have so many patents. Well, they don't have. Our patents are not only registered in India, Australia, but even in US and Europe. So that speaks the quality and innovation that we have. In terms of other innovation, we do a lot of um, networking with other institutions. With your institution also, we would like to do some joint research, but we have done with number of universities in India and here and even in England, where we are able to have joint projects, joint research, joint publications, joint innovation projects, joint patents. So there's so many ways we are able to outsmart these big universities because they sit at comfort level. For us, it is you have an example of a hound, a dog, and a rabbit. Dog is running for food, rabbit is running for life. So our situation is we are small rabbit, we are running for life, we are running to exist here. So we perhaps do better networking, we are better at, interestingly, Dr. Srivastava, last year, Leaders Institute was rated #1 in Australia for student experience.
Wow.
And that survey is not conducted by us, it is conducted by the government. And they send a confidential email and confidential survey to the students. And there are 192 higher education institutions, 43 universities, and we beat them all.
Fantastic. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And I must say that you are being so modest about comparing yourself with University of Queensland and saying that you are a smaller player. But since I have visited Leaders Institute personally, I must assure all the students who are present here and listening to both of us that the Institute has an infrastructure which is world class. It has an ecosystem which encourages students to go all out and to perform. It actually fosters the leadership skills and the kind of faculty that I have met with. They are all world class researchers and individuals who know how to nurture talent. So I think you have done a phenomenal job in terms of leading this institute and bringing it to excellence. And I think all in the audience, we would like to clap for this excellence, please. The success of Leaders Institute. And congratulations once again for that.
Thank you. I think we have to have more discussions like this. It makes me feel so good.
Yeah. So before I move on to maybe one or two more questions, I would want to invite maybe one of the faculty members to ask a question from Sir.
Sure.
Any faculty member, please.
or we pay for the question. It's a
There is going to be a special incentive. So we will talk about that after the session gets over. Yeah, I can see Madam Geeta Shetty coming up. Yeah, please.
Yeah, very good morning, sir. I'm Geeta Shetty here. My question is how challenging it is to do the placement of the students after completing their education at your institute.
Thank you. I think at times it's very challenging, especially when we started new. We started 7 years ago. It was very challenging in the beginning because if you're a new provider, people do not know you and they don't want to take your students. At that time, there are placement agencies that charge you money to place your students. But that we had to do only year one. After that, we developed such a nice reputation with the industry that they started asking for our students because students were positive, a kind of breath of fresh air for employers. And currently we find 100% not only placement, but also internships for our students.
So, I mean, just adding on to this question, I mean, are there any live projects, any real life, problems that are experienced by the industries that you get from the companies and then you hand it over to the students to work on?
Yes, number of times. When they go for placements, they bring in a lot of projects, and then we continue our relationships through the next batch of students. So there's so many times. Currently, see, until now we have been specializing in agribusiness. We have MBA agribusiness, Bachelor of agribusiness, all that, and in that we have done so much for local farmers here, local industry here, agribusiness networking. We have done a lot of benefits. When our students go, we do capstone unit is in the 3rd year of our bachelor's program. And it is for, I think, 3 to 4 weeks. And in 3 to 4 weeks, we do a lot of live projects there.
Oh, so that's how they get the practical orientation, actually.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay, one more question which was crossing my mind was that you initially started in Brisbane, Queensland, and then you moved on to Sydney. So that was a new campus that you came up with. So, in order to expand and to grow, and these two cities are so different from each other, I'm sure you must have experienced various challenges. If you can just cite maybe an example of how challenging it was to move to Sydney from Brisbane, that would be very useful to us.
Dr. Srivastava, vision is to become the first private agriculture university in the country here. And for that, you need to have bigger presence, and bigger presence means you have to go to a big city. While many of your students and staff probably know Brisbane, but we call Brisbane as a small village. It's only 2 million population here, which considering your city and our country, that means nothing much. It's like you can have 2 million people in Delhi. If you make a wrong turn, you can miss 2 million people on one side. And so you have to go to a bigger city. And for that, as I said, we had to have a campus that was inspected by the government first. And then we had to get approval from TEXA. It was very challenging. And that too, approval is based on each degree. So every time we add a new degree, we have to seek a new approval from the government to be added there. But being in Sydney is very good for us. It gives us a lot of exposure. It gives a lot of choices to our students that want to study with us. And we are also increasingly finding that they want to do year 1 in Brisbane, year 2 in Sydney. That gives them a lot of experience. It's like studying in at the Temple University, what you mentioned, and then next year you want to go and study in Manhattan.
Absolutely. That's really, very heartening to know that despite all these challenges, you were able to set it up. And the expansion has happened in a very, very short period of time. I think we need to salute your leadership for that, because it's only because of that that you were able to push the government, bring in all the networks together to get the approvals from all these regulatory bodies. So I think once again, all the students and faculty would like to put our hands together for your brilliant leadership.
Thank you. Thank you.
To conclude, I would want you to give some message to our students so that even though we are here in Mumbai, but most of these students are aspiring to achieve global standards in terms of the knowledge that they gain and the skills that they acquire. So what would that message be?
Look, as I mentioned before, at one time there used to be, okay, if you're bachelor's, that was the minimum requirement for employment. Now it's not only bachelor from where you have done it. Last week, we put out an advertisement. We needed a campus manager. And one advertisement brought us probably in 2 days, 38 applications. And when you vet the applications, there was not even one application that was that I was born in Brisbane, I went to school in Brisbane, and then I did my bachelor's in Brisbane and did master's. No, not even one. So this world has become a small global unit. Therefore, if you're considering being successful, consider also Australia, consider also US, consider also England, Canada, wherever you want to go. It is very encouraging that you are studying an institution that thinks out of the box. Fact that Madam Srivastava is talking to somebody in Australia, that shows that her vision is worldwide. It's a global vision. And you can be very happy that with the small networkings like this, a small opportunity. I left India in 1993. It was small opportunity. Somebody said there is a conference, so I came out here. And today I have probably 3 or 4 institutions I own. I come from a village in a very remote area of Punjab. You wouldn't even know. We are from Gurdaspur. You might know. Sunny Deol ran for an election from Gurdaspur, and before that it was Vinod Khanna. But if it was not for 2 famous Mumbaians, there would be no mention of Gurdaspur. So in a situation like this, where a small opportunity of going abroad and making my life better comes, networkings like this, like with leaders and your institution, with people that think broader than just your own institution, is, I think, tremendous boost to your study. The more you think about management studies, also you should please think about going abroad, because an exposure in big multi national company, an exposure in multi countries, going different countries and doing it, would probably get you at a different level. We always say here in our family, I went to US first, moved over to Australia, and like every other family, you want your kids to stay with you here, and because you think Australia is a great country. But my son would say, no, daddy, I want to go to US and my daughter wants to go to England. And then you wonder, gosh, are there not enough career opportunities here? Yeah, there are career opportunities. It's a small country, but the growth comes by going to different places. So I think you're blessed. You have a director who's visionary. You're blessed. You study at a great institution. You're blessed to live in a big city, which is a cosmopolitan city. Such opportunities are perhaps not available to many people within your country and within our country too. Over here, Brisbane is a small place. I went to US in 1993. The first lady I started working with, I was a student, and students have to work there to make ends meet. And the girl who used to work with me there was an American girl, and her mother used to come, Gina's mom. And Gina's mom had never left the city, let alone the state or the country. She was born there. She was so content with that. But now the culture is different. No one you will find who hasn't been abroad here now. So therefore, I think be encouraged. You are at a great institution. You are under a great leadership. They used to say, sky is the limit. It's not the sky anymore. People go beyond sky. So I'm very happy that we talked. Maybe if we talk again, please come up with some questions so we can have more lively discussion. I look forward to meeting you. I think I'll be coming. I'm trying to save some money for the ticket. I'll be coming to India soon. And when I come, we look forward to interacting with you. If you, anybody from your faculty, doctor, or anybody from your management or any of the students come here, welcome. We're happy to host them for a few days. I think discuss with your management. We should also do some faculty exchange program and student exchange. So that way we can increase our interaction.
Yeah, definitely. Very, very inspirational, and a big thanks to you. A huge round of applause for Dr. Bernard Malik for spending his Saturday, which was an off day for you, and you need not have spent this with us. But I'm sure, whatever you have said is so important for the students to absorb. They have to soak in this possibility, and they have to start dreaming of moving out of their comfort zones. And even if it is through creating an exchange program, or even if it is in terms of some joint research ventures that we may come up with, I think we are surely going to extend a very huge arm to you in terms of asking for that support also. So on behalf of all of us present here, we would like to thank you once again. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.